The Whitley Strieber case.
Strieber.
So Whitley Strieber is actually a well-known author.
Oh, really? I don't know. Sorry,
He'd written a lot of kind of sci-fi books.
Oh, okay.
On December 26th, the day after Christmas, in 1985, he was vacationing with his wife and his son upstate New York in their cabin, right? And he thought that someone had been breaking into the cabin.
While they were there? Or?
No, like when they went back, he just got the feeling like
somebody was here.
Somebody's been here.
Okay, gotcha.
You know? Mm-hmm. Like for some reason he had this feeling. So he installed a high-tech security system with cameras and stuff like that.
In the 80s, that was the start of all that stuff. People
Before he took this vacation, he had this stuff installed.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. So before he got there,
before he got there,
recording and everything.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, I don't know if he turned it on when he got there or if it was already recording. He activated the alarm at 11 o'clock in the evening on the 26th. And then he went to sleep. He said a couple of hours later, something woke him up. And he thought somebody was in the house, that they'd bypassed the security system somehow. So he was getting ready to check it out, to see if someone broke into his house.
Right.
And that's when he saw the being.
Oh.
Peek around the corner.
Oh, that's creepy.
Of the door and look in at him.
Especially when you're in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said the next thing he remembered was sitting in the woods outside.
He's sitting outside?
He saw this creature.
And the next
thing he knew was he was outside. He said he couldn't remember much about how he got there, and he thought he was sleepwalking. He thought that's the only explanation how he got outside. Yeah. So this really bothered him so much that he went to see a doctor.
Okay.
All right, because he thought, I'm losing my mind. I'm having these weird thoughts, So he went to see a doctor named Donald F. Klein. And this doctor decided to do some hypnotic regression sessions. And they did some. So according to his regressed memory, somehow that night he was floated out of the bedroom window.
Oh.
I don't know if it was out of the window or through the window. Somehow floated and then out of the window, and then into a UFO that was hovering above his cabin.
The wind through the window, it reminds me like Peter Pan. Interesting, yeah.
So I don't know if it was through the glass or if the window was open. I mean, it's wintertime. I doubt the window was open.
And it reminds me of the story from before.
Right, where they're levitated.
Levitated.
Hicks and Parker. And then he recalled seeing several different types of beings.
Different types?
Different types. He said there was a small robotic-looking being. There was a short, stocky type beings with dark skin. There was a very thin, weak-looking being, and another one similar to it but taller. And the two that looked similar had large almond-shaped black eyes.
Oh, the black eyes again.
Oh, one of them had round black eyes.
Oh, that's strange.
One had almond-shaped black eyes,
right.
And the other one had round, like perfectly round. He said almost like button-looking eyes.
Has to look funny, though.
Right? He said that one of these beings inserted a large needle into his brain.
Ooh.
I guess through his ear or something. And then they made an incision on one of his fingers, and they took a blood sample. He said another object was inserted into his rectum and then removed.
Thank God it was removed.
All of these jokes that you hear nowadays about the aliens probing you and stuff, this was the story
of it. Yeah, there was the start
that started that.
Yeah.
After he described these to Dr. Klein, the doctor thought, that he had suffered a temporal lobe epilepsy. He thought that was the explanation that caused the hallucination.
Oh, gotcha. Of
And-
all this,
and-
yeah.
Of seeing all this stuff and ending up outside, that he had had an epileptic seizure, a temporal lobe epileptic seizure.
Did they find the whatever they did
I-
to him after? Did they try to see? Or
I don't
you
know,
don't know?
if he ever had a brain scan or anything
Yeah.
like that.
and is he still?
Oh yeah,
alive?
yeah. Whitley Strieber, he didn't agree with this diagnosis. He swears something happened to him, and he wrote a book. It was called Communion. It became a New York Times bestseller.
Wow.
And then he wrote 2 follow-up novels because he'd had afterwards, supposedly he was abducted several other times or had several memories of other abductions.
So
Said that there was some kind of plan, that this was all some part of a plan. I think we pretty much rounded off
I
this
think so. That
subject.
was a great episode.